Hi, welcome to Batilipi's workshop. My name's Jim, and I've been working on the rear suspension of my year 2000 Workhorse motorhome chassis. And when I was looking at it, I found these old Firestone ride-right air springs that had replaced the bump stops. And they're kind of old and decrepit, and you have to pressurize them and all that. And so they need to be replaced. And I decided to replace them with Sumo springs. They're simpler, they don't require any air pressurization. Now, my early 2000 model Workhorse chassis had a fairly narrow track. If you actually measure the axle from side to side, tip to tip, it's about 6 feet, even though the motorhome is 8 feet wide. So it's got a fairly narrow track. And mine was kind of the last of the narrow track Workhorse chassis. Later that model year and in following years, they went to a wider track. But because mine is a narrow track, it's really important to have these Sumo springs or something else. I'm choosing the Sumo springs in there to prevent sway when you're going around corners and making turns. Now, the Firestone air spring was attached to the chassis at the top and attached to the axle below. So it was always having to stretch out or squeeze in. The Sumo spring, when you look at it, it only has a bolt at the top. So it just attaches to the mount at the top of the chassis. And the bottom here just contacts the top of the axle when it's in action. So in this video, I'm going to be modifying the old mounting that was used for this, and I'm going to modify everything so that I can put this in instead. So let's get on with the video. Got to remove this old air spring. It was put in aftermarket. It didn't come with the vehicle from what I can tell. And it's just an air spring that's mounted where the bump stop used to be. Let's take off this first, or try to anyway. It's funny, the Workhorse manual specifically says all the bolts on it are metric. And so far I haven't found that to be true, but let's see what happens. That was 9/16. Quick. Doesn't seem to be tight. Ah, that did it. Perfect. Now I can get it off. Well, that was a little bit more of a fight than I was expecting, but that's always the case. So I've got it all off, or disconnected. Pull the clamps off. There's the other one. That's out. So now I can turn my attention to the top. So let's take a look up there. Just a matter of time. Get it. I think there's one on either side. There goes the nut. Okay. Here it is. I just have to cut the airline off. There's actually some pressure in there. Wow, couldn't believe that. Wasn't expecting that anyway. So here it comes out. So I'll put it all down here, all the parts. Got the two brackets and the air spring itself. And just for fun, I want to show you where it says what we've got here. There you go. Equipped with Ride Right by Firestone. Well, it's morning. Coffee always helps in the morning. This was the original rear air coil that was put on extra. It wasn't provided by the builder of the RV, but it was added on, and it doesn't work anymore. This is the top that's connected to the frame via these two bolts, and this is the actual air spring. And then if you look underneath it, you'll see that there's a plate, and these then go around the axle and bolt down. So this whole assembly here was aftermarket, so I'm going to put that aside. This was the original part, and what I'm going to replace it with are these Sumo springs, and all these are just bump stops that have extra spring in them. So if the leaf springs bottom out, this will take up the slacks. It'll take up some of the stress, make the RV handle a little bit better. They're called Sumo springs, and they're really common. Almost every RV has them added. And I have to say that this RV, it's a year 2000, it's a Workhorse chassis, and it's got a fairly narrow track. The whole unit's 8 feet wide, but the track of the wheels is really much more narrow than that. They sit back almost 18 inches inside on either end. So it's a fairly short axle. So later in that model year, they did widen the track, but unfortunately mine is the narrower track one. So anyway, the Sumo springs are what they recommend. And what I'm going to have to do is drill a hole here, because the old bump stop originally had two. This one only has a single one, so I'll be drilling a hole right smack in the middle of those two. And I've decided it's designed according to the instructions. This just bangs against the bottom, against the top of the rear axle. But I think I'm going to take the spring off of this and just use the bottom piece as a better plate for this to hit on. So it won't be hitting on a round axle, it'll be hitting on this flat plate, which is what the coil did before anyway. So I'll be taking this apart and reattaching it to the axle with these two things. Okay, so here's the two existing holes. We want one right in the middle. I've already measured, just took a line. By the way, I always write on metal with a silver Sharpie. They show up really well. And then I measured, so I drew the line in the center of the holes and measured from each hole. So there's where it has to go. So I've got a punch. I like it really good. It's pretty soft metal. There's a nice hole. So there's my drill press all set up. So I got the hole set up, and anytime you use a drill press, always clamp down what you're doing. Get bit by it when it goes flying off otherwise. This looks just about right. Tighten that down a little bit. I like to use tap magic when I'm working with metal. So let's see what happens. It's a 5/16 inch hole. Oh, that's super soft. Okay. Do it. You know, I haven't saved too many tools for when my father passed away about 15 years ago, but most of the tools he had were older and not as good as anything I had. But he had these really nice aluminum C-clamps. They're lightweight, and I realize they're not as strong, but they've never given me any trouble. They work super well, and I like the fact that they're lightweight. So I tend to grab these if I just need a simple clamp for metal work. There's our hole. I just want to ream it out a little bit to deburr it. I tend to use this thing. Chuck. Bit up here. Take this off first. I'm not going to get to the other side for a while, so I'm not going to drill anymore today. And then I put the chuck key back up in this little clamp up here. I never lose it. That's good. And let's go ahead now and take off the bolts that hold this air coil on. That's fun. It's still got air, still holds air. We're just going to take these off and just use this as a platform. So there's that one. There we go. There. So this now goes in the trash, and I have a platform for this to hit, and this would be wrapped around the axle, so that's good. Now I was looking in there, and I think it'll be easier if I just attach this here in the shop, and then I can just put these two bolts through the hole and put the nuts on them. There's the nuts. That'll be easier than trying to get at these bolts, because actually when you look underneath, there's another piece that sits right on top of this that'd make it hard to reach that bolt. So this comes with a nut and a washer, and then a great big giant plastic washer. But I don't fool around when I pack these things. So this apparently just sits on there, and that sits on here. This goes on, and this doesn't even seem to be a lock nut. Oh yes, it is. It's a lock nut. This is trivial. Just bolt it down. Just torque it down really tight, and then a little bit. And there we are, Sumo spring. So all we have to do is go up and crawl into the frame, put this through the holes, get those nuts on the other side, and off we go. And this I need to track down where I put the nuts for this so I can get it back on. And I'll meet you guys under the RV. Okay, so here we go. Here's the two holes, one here and one here. Sumo spring bolts have to go through, and then I'll have to reach the nut on the top. Probably won't be able to fit a socket in there, probably just a wrench. It's really cramped in here, so I'm not going to be able to move the camera much. There's that. Here goes the nut. It's tough to reach. There it goes. It's on, it's not turning yet. Wow, I got it started. Okay, let me see if I can get the other side started. Brake lines and stuff in the way. But I got it out, so I must be able to get it back in. Ah, there it is. Or sometimes when you can't see something, you can't even feel where it should be. There it goes. I think I got it started. It goes. So I brought with me the wrench. Pretty sure I won't be able to get a socket under those brake lines, so I'm going to try getting this under there. I'll try it just the old-fashioned way. Aha. Just do about a quarter of a turn at a time. If I could see in there, it'd be a little bit easier, but I can't, so. And it's a lock nut, so it's not going to go easy. I'm getting the feel for it. The trick of these things is always to just figure out how to relax a little bit so you don't get all wound up. So I've got my head flat against the floor, so I'm not holding it up. So I can do this a lot longer. Okay, I'm getting this pretty tight. Okay, this will be it. That's enough. Now that the Sumo spring is all installed, I just wanted to show it to you. So here's the frame on the right side of the car. There's the leaf spring, and the Sumo spring is located just inside that leaf spring. So let's go in a little closer. Take a look, and here you can see the pad that we attached to the axle. This was the pad that went to the original Firestone coil spring, air coil spring, but I thought it'd be a good idea to put it back on. So now when this thing is in action, this will drop. When the leaf spring bottoms out, the Sumo spring will hit this plate and thus the axle. Worked out pretty well. Well, I hope that video was helpful for you. Thank you for watching it, and keep tuned for more videos. I've been putting out about once a week, so I'll hopefully keep that up. There's a lot more to do on this RV, believe me. Anyway, again, thanks for watching.